Anyway, for real. I'm a big dog, I'm coming several losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I shoot them. I got the suicidal thoughts in the down, don't make me lose it. The only thing can get some time from me is OGs. I'm a big dog, I'm coming several losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I shoot them. I got the suicidal thoughts in the down, don't make me lose it. The only thing can get some time from me is OGs. I'm a big dog, I don't want you now. Made the crowd scream, I'm on gas. I bitch you red, bro, you down. He was supposed to be with Caesar Matthews, he's a 9. How you look this things take your pieces from me. Turn a nigga head into a Reese's cup. You wasn't on the main line, you was PC'd up. We got Draco in the building, turn the Stevie Wonder. Now we back to the punchlines. Finna do a nigga sleazy like that one time. I got a free bus pass, he on that one line. I turn my wrist handicap like that blind nigga. I'm a big dog, I'm coming several losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I shoot them. I got the suicidal thoughts in the down, don't make me lose it. The only thing can get some time from me is OGs. I'm a big dog, I'm coming several losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I shoot them. I got the suicidal thoughts in the down, don't make me lose it. The only thing can get some time from me is OGs. I'm a big dog, I'm coming several losers. For real. Suicidal thoughts in the down, don't make me lose it.
I'm a big dog, I don't conversate with poodles. I make street music you can commit violent crimes too. If we beefing, I use chunks from your noodles to make spaghetti. Throwing house party when you hear them pop shots, it's not confetti. That shit under meniscus, I can eyeball it, no fatty. Fuck a nickel, my shooter ain't the nigga world Armageddon. I want more chains to whip like my shit ain't broke already. And I don't wanna hit that crystal cause I'm dope already. Things came to take the rap game over and I hope y'all ready. Bitch act stupid, I fuck your mama, bitch you know I'm petty. Nigga think he fucking with me, must be blowed off fatty. This exotic stinky buzz, we don't smoke that Reggie.
I'm a big dog, I'm coming several losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I shoot them. I got the suicidal thoughts in the down, don't make me lose it. The only thing can get some time from me is OGs. I'm a big dog, I'm coming several losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I shoot them. I got the suicidal thoughts in the down, don't make me lose it. The only thing can get some time from me is OGs. I'm a big dog, I'm coming several losers. For real. Suicidal thoughts in the down, don't make me lose it.
We Japanese still. You getting cooked in front of your family? Like a Japanese meal. It's Yasub the Hibachi, and none of you niggas can stop me. But can't help but watch me. Yeah, man, we doing the marathon. We spinning the block on Dave Farina. And it's a couple things I want to address today. There's a couple things I want to address today. One of those things is his comments, because he got his ass whooped on whether or not we're clueless on the origin of life. So we're going to touch on a few things today about that. But also his comment about that, they don't teach the primordial soup thing in textbooks, which he's lying. That's why he tried to say, it doesn't say that slithering creatures. Of course it doesn't. He's embellishing, but the point still remains the same. The primordial soup model is the main model, right? Which is over 100 years old now, and it's still being used to try to explain the origin of life. Again, if you guys missed my review, go check my live I did last night where I pretty much went through each round and I gave my synopsis, my analysis of what was going on. Dave Farina continued to pelt Dr. James Tour with logical fallacy after logical fallacy. The true Scotsman fallacy was used. The black and white fallacy was used. The ad hominem fallacy was used. The red herring fallacy was used. The Gish Gallop fallacy was used against James Tour, and many more. So it wasn't even close. You lose points for that. You don't gain points. A lot of you internet geeks and fans of Professor Dave, y'all not going to see past that. That's what y'all want to see. You want him to go up there and call him a liar, call him out his name, say he's bullshit. But the primary objective was to prove that we aren't clueless on the origin of life. And if anything, you conceded to the point when you said we don't know exactly how it happens, which means we're clueless. That was so dumb. But it just goes back to, oh, James Tour has a religion. He believes in God, and he professes faith in Jesus Christ. Therefore, he has to be wrong on science. That's a slippery slope fallacy. You can't. That's another fallacy. Just because someone has a belief in a God does not mean he's wrong about everything, and let alone anything dealing with science. Science is a vast field. It's not just dealing with the origin of life; it's dealing with a lot of things. And he's a chemist. He's a professor of chemistry for Christ's sake, right? Um, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So, with that being stated, I wanna just point out this first. This is going to be the first thing I point out. Um, Here's the interesting thing: if you don't have modern Christianity, you don't have the modern field of science, because the modern field of science is birthed by modern, Christians. It's just that simple. Believers, it's that simple. They create the field. But if you go all the way back, all the way back to the origin of intellectual thought, it is believed, right? It is believed that the first people, the first intellectuals were priests. And I'm going to show you that real quick. You understand? It is here. Let me go to the paper so you guys can see, and I'll put it in the chat. This is from the Nova Scotia College, and it's dealing with Chapter 1, The Origins of Civilization. And I dealt with this before in a video titled Origin of Civilization. And I was attacking the Afrocentrics who think that the origin of civilization has to happen in Africa, because they believe everything starts in Africa, including civilization, which I was like, I thoroughly refuted with this, because all the evidence points to Mesopotamia, but that's a whole nother bag, right? But with that being stated, what this paper does, and I'll actually put this in the chat so you guys can have this source or resource for yourself. It points out something about the first intellectuals, right? Let me go down to it. Go down to it here. Where is it at? Hard search. So, intellectuals. Right here. So, the existence of a priesthood and organized worship in Ketohoyuk is striking because it means that people were trying in a systematic way to understand how the world worked. And that's what we do in the field of science. We're trying to understand how the physical world works, right? Or the physical universe, for that matter. It says, in turn, priests were probably the world's first intellectuals, people who used their minds for a living. Priests probably directed the efforts to build irrigation systems and made the decisions about building and rebuilding the town, since they had a monopoly on explaining the larger forces at work in human life, especially in a period like the ancient past when natural forces like flood diseases, were vastly more powerful than the ability of humans to control them. Priests were the only people who could offer an explanation. So it's different perspectives. So most people will look at a perspective of, oh, religious people equal dumb or stupid or incompetent. But actually, when you look at the human history, priests may have been some of the smartest people, especially in ancient times. And then you fast forward to the modern era, the field of science actually comes from religious people. It comes from medieval Christians, and that's just a fact. There's no way around that. And I wanted to bring this up because if we go even more anciently, all the way to the Holocene, it is believed that the priests were the intellectuals because they had the time, to sit and wonder and ponder these things on how the world works, how to do certain things, to come up with ideas and inventing, right? That was the beauty of agriculture, because then we shifted from hunter-gatherer culture to a more sedentary agriculture way of life where we can sit and think because we have food in surplus now. We don't always have to hunt our food. Now we can use our mind for other things like inventing, solving problems, right? Making life easier. So I just wanted to share that because the narrative is always religious equals stupidity to some of these dogmatic doctrinaires in the pseudo quasi scientific community, because they're not really a part of the scientific community. They're just a bunch of trolls on the internet, right? You know how that goes. But anyway, from there, that's addressed something else, man, that was brought up in that debate. Um, he swears up and down that Dr. James Tour is lying about the primordial soup not being taught in college or collegiate level books, which is not true. And all you have to do is just look up one of the books that Dr. James Tour brought up. And one of those books is named, entitled, let me get it on my screen here. Let me share this tab here. Here's one of those books that he brought up. The Principles of Biochemistry, I believe, is the title. I'll get you the title here in a minute. Let's see, it's right here. So, 3 dots. Yeah, we can do that. Open it. I think a new tab. So this is the book here. I don't want to lose my place. The Principles of Biochemistry. And this book has been updated, but this is a college level book. Leninger, I think that's how you say his name. Leninger, Principles of Biochemistry. Right? This is a collegiate book that has been taught at the college level. Now let's go into the book. We're able to preview the book on Google, on Google Books. So let's read it. I hard search soup, and this is what I was unveiled when I hard searched the word soup. Because remember, he claims that this is not being taught. So when I go to this segment here, I think this is page 33. No, page 32. Biomolecules first arose by chemical evolution. When I go to this portion here, it says, in our account thus far, we have passed over the first chapter of the story of evolution, the appearance of the first living cell, apart from their occurrence in living organisms, organic compounds, including basic biomolecules such as amino acids and carbohydrates, are found in only trace amounts in the Earth's crust, the sea, and the atmosphere. How did the first living organism acquire their characteristic organic building blocks? And that's the question. Like, do we even know this? Or are we clueless about this? Is what the debate was about. We don't know this. This is why I still pose as a question to this day, right? It says, in 1922, the biochemist Alexander I Oparin proposed a theory for the origin of life early in the history of Earth, postulating that the atmosphere was very different from that of today, rich in methane, ammonia, and water, and essentially devoid of oxygen. It was reducing atmosphere in contrast to the oxidizing environment of our era. In Oparin's theory, electrical energy from lightning discharges or heat energy from volcanoes cause ammonia, methane, water vapor, and other components of the primitive atmosphere to react, forming simple or organic compounds. So again, this theory was theorized and conceived in 1922. And it's pretty much little to no difference than how we think about it today, as far as this starting point. It says these compounds then dissolve in the ancient seas, which over many millennia became enriched with large variety of simple organic substances. In its warm solution, the primordial soup. Remember, he said this is not being taught at the collegiate level. Here's a collegiate book, and it is teaching the primordial soup. Then you were like, oh, he's just going over that theory. That's not taught today. We're going to keep reading. Some organic molecules had a greater tendency than others to associate into larger complexes. Over millions of years, these in turn assembled spontaneously to form membranes and catalysts, enzymes, which came together to become precursors of the earliest cells. Oparin's view remained speculative for many years and appeared untestable until a surprising experiment was conducted using simple equipment on a desktop. And we already know what this is, the Mausoleum experiment. We're going to go over that as well. So again, he claims that this is not being taught at the collegiate level. It is being taught at the collegiate level, as we can see in this book. All I got to do is prove one book is doing it, because again, he made the absolutist claim that it's not. Right? And, that should have been a debate, because he would have got his ass whooped on that too. Chemical evolution can be simulated in the laboratory. The classic experiment on the abiotic non-biological origin of organic biomolecules was carried out in 1953 by Stanley Miller in the laboratory of Harold Urey. Miller subjected gaseous mixtures of NH3, CH4, H2O, and H2 to electrical sparks produced across a pair of electrodes to simulate lightning for periods of a week or more, then analyzed the contents of the closed reaction vessel. The gas phase of the resulting mixture contains CO and CO2, as well as the starting materials. The water phase contained a variety of organic compounds, including some amino acids, hydroxy acids, aldehydes, and hydrogen cyanide. This experiment established the possibility of abiotic production of biomolecules in relatively short times under relatively mild conditions. More refined laboratory experiments have provided good evidence that many of the chemical components of living cells, including polypeptides, that was something that was brought up yesterday, and RNA-like molecules can form under these conditions. Polymers of RNA can act as a catalyst in biologically significant reactions, as we discussed in chapter 26, 27, and RNA probably played a crucial role in prebiotic evolution, both as catalysts and as information repositories. So, as we can see here, Miller-Urey, again, that all goes back to the belief that this all happened in primordial soup. Again, Professor Dave claims that these books don't teach about that. He's a damn liar. And here's a difference, because we abuse that word liar. We abuse that word liar. We misappropriate that term liar, but in this case, he's a liar, right? The word liar means to deceive by intent. Your intention is to deceive someone, right? A lot of times what we mean to say is someone is misinformed, not that someone's lying, because to lie means there's some kind of ill intent behind it to deceive someone. That's how to properly use that word, right? Anyway, RNA or related precursors may have been the first genes and catalysts. And the reason why I want to read this, because I also want to educate my viewing audience on what the prevailing belief is in the modern science world, right? It says in modern organisms, nucleic acids encode the genetic information that specifies the structure of enzymes, and enzymes catalyze the replication and repair of nucleic acids. Again, we can't explain none of this stuff. We don't know how information was first conveyed, how it arose. We don't know none of this. Therefore, we're clueless. That's why a lot of times we're reading this like a story, like someone will read Genesis 1 through 10 and say, okay, it did happen. Why? Because God said it. But, in the secular world, it did happen. Why? Because scientists said it. It's the same argument. It's nothing different here, right? We don't know how we got the first nucleic acid, how we got the first cells that convey information. We don't really know. All we can do is speculate. This is all speculative. We can only give our hypothesis. And again, for those watching, you know what a hypothesis is. It's an unproven statement. That's what a hypothesis is, right? So what happens is you have these people that, turn to scientism, and they become very dogmatic about their scientists, and the scientists become the priesthood of those people, these trolls on the internet. And everything a scientist says becomes, definitive. And, it's just far from the truth. And that's why I tell people to try to spend time. And a lot of people, they know most people are not going to read this on their own. They think about it. Most of you guys think this is boring, but, me being who I am, I'm actually going to take out the time to read this stuff instead of just take someone's word on it. That's just how I am. And I try to share that on my channel with you guys. It says here, the mutual dependence of these two classes of biomolecules brings up the perplexing question: which came first, DNA or protein? The answer may be neither. The discovery that RNA molecules can act as a catalyst in their own formation. Form a molecule. Hold on. Where are we at? Formation suggests that RNA or a similar molecule may have been the first gene and the first catalyst. This is where you get the hypothesis known as the RNA world, right? They believe everything started with RNA, but then, where did the first RNA come from? We don't know. Even when you propose that, again, it's going back to us being clueless on the origin of life. All this does is assume that RNA was there, not telling you how it got there, right? We don't know. It says, according to this scenario, one of the earliest stages of biological evolution was the chance formation in the primordial soup. Remember, your boy says that they don't teach this in the collegiate level. Here's a book that was taught at the collegiate level and still is being taught because this book has been updated editions after edition after edition at the collegiate level. And it clearly states primordial soup. So you're either no, you're just a liar, bro. I'm not even giving you the option out of that because you know that. You should know this. You should know this. Your boy said, nah, man, they don't teach that. They don't teach that. They just teach all the technical jargon. They don't even say primordial soup. That's not there, right? Then you try to use Texas sharpshooter and say, well, does it say slithering creature? Of course it doesn't. He was embellishing to make a point. It says, according to this scenario, one of the earliest stages of biological evolution was the chance formation in the primordial soup of an RNA molecule that could catalyze the formation of other RNA molecules of the same sequence, a self-replicating, self-perpetuating RNA. The concentration of a self-replicating RNA molecule would increase exponentially as one molecule formed two formed four, and so on. The fidelity of self-replication was presumably less than perfect, so the process would generate variants of the RNA, some of which might, I lost my position when I went down. Production. Oh, some of which might be even better, able to self-replicate. In the competition for nucleotides, the most efficient of self-replicating sequences would win, and less efficient replicators would fade from the population. The division of function between DNA genetic information storage and protein catalyst was, according to the RNA world hypothesis, a later development. New variants of self-replicating RNA molecules developed with the additional ability to catalyze the condensation of amino acids into peptides. Occasionally, the peptides thus formed and would reinforce the self-replicating ability of the RNA and pair RNA molecule and helping peptide could undergo further modifications in sequence, generate even more efficient self-replicating systems. The recent remarkable discovery that in protein synthesizing machinery of modern cells, ribosomes, RNA molecules, not proteins, catalyze the formation of peptide bonds is certainly consistent with the RNA world hypothesis. Again, what is a hypothesis? An unproven statement. So we're still clueless here. And to prove that, let's type this in. Hypothesis. A biology definition. I always put the biology definition, right? Look right here. Here it is. Share this tab here. Hypothesis, a supposition or tentative explanation for a group of phenomena, a set of facts, or a scientific inquiry that may be tested, verified, or answered by further investigation or methodological experiment. Again, we're still stuck here. We're dealing with a supposition. We're dealing with something that's not explained yet. Yes, we can observe certain facts. We know RNA replicates. We know that. But then we make the supposition based off of that. We're still clueless. We don't know how this happened. We don't know how the first RNA came about. We don't know how any of these building blocks first came about. All we can do is presuppose it, right? They just assume that it happened and then they go from there, right? All right, from there we go back. Let me go back to where I was. Share this tab instead. I know I probably lost some of y'all. It's getting boring. But I got to go over this information, man. Because that's the problem. That's how they mystify so many people because they know no one's going to sit down, break this down, and read it because they got lives or they just not interested in it like that. Not that many people are into science itself, lay people, and they're not, the number gets even smaller when we're talking about the origin of the world. That's why it's easier just to go off what they say and just keep it pushing, right? Let me get another definition here too. Science Direct. If I lost anybody, Science Direct. I believe it was Science Direct on what a hypothesis is, and we know a theory. A theory is the interpretation of the facts. If I can't find it, then it's cool. Theory, interpretation of the facts. The facts and hypothesis theories become stronger. All right, so I can't find it on the fly. I didn't have that one prepared, but anyway, y'all see. Y'all got a good enough definition on what hypothesis is. Well, I brought it up before. I think it was on Live Science or Science Direct. They had a great definition of it, and it's very simple, very easy to follow. Hypothesis is an unproven statement of theories and interpretation of facts. Very simple, easy to follow, easily digestible. But anyway, back to what we're looking at right now. Again, the claim was that they didn't teach this, that the collegiate books does not teach the primordial soup model. And as we can see, it clearly does. Um, it says sometime after the evolution of the primitive protein synthesizing system, there was further development. DNA molecules with sequences and complementary to the self-replicating RNA molecules took over the function of conserving the genetic information, and RNA molecules evolved to play roles in protein synthesis. Proteins proved to be versatile catalysts and over time took over that function. Lipid-like compounds in the primordial soup, they still teach this. This is in the collegiate book. Form relatively impermeable layers around self-replicating collections of molecules. Right? And why does it say impermeable layers? This is what they were arguing yesterday. How was it protected? This is their answer to how it was protected. They just give a hypothesis of saying we think that these lipid-like compounds in the primordial soup form relatively impermeable layers around self-replicating collections of molecules. The concentration of proteins and nucleic acids within these lipid enclosures favored the molecular interactions required in self-replication. And this is storytelling. This is what they believe to happen. It's still a mystery. We don't know, but this is what the scientific community. This is the story that they implore to explain this. So right here it says creation. Go back. Remember, he said it wasn't in the book here, and we just proved that it is. Creation of prebiotic soup, including nucleotides from components of Earth's primitive atmosphere. This is still being taught in collegiate schools. It is being taught in collegiate books. So there's no way around it, man. There's no way around it. Production of short RNA molecules with random sequences. We still don't know how this happens. It just says it does. Selective replication of self-duplicating catalytic RNA segments, synthesis of specific peptides catalyzed by RNA, increasing role of peptides in RNA replication, coevolution, yada, yada, yada. You know the rest. That is being taught in collegiate books. You were wrong about that, man. You were wrong. You were fucking wrong. Now, I want to go to the next thing. As my stream becomes black. All right. I want to go to the next thing. Let me put my StreamYard down here. The next thing that was brought up. Again, the title of the debate was emphatically, are we clueless on the origin of life? And the answer is very simple. It's very simple. Emphatically, we are. There's no way around it, bro. Y'all keep trying to act like scientists are, these people with crystal balls and they know everything about the past, and they don't. All they can do is make inferences to the past. That's all they can fucking do. You have made them bigger than they actually are. Let me see, where is it? Let me get this from Live Science first. Let's read this one. What does it say right here? You even had to go all technical. I know you was flexing on them, James. I know you was talking to that nigga yesterday, James, but you didn't even have to do all that. You could just went to simple shit like this, man. 7 theories on the origin. We're confused there. We're clueless on it now. We got 7 different theories. Right? We don't really know how this happened. We're clueless on this. What does it say? The answer to the origin of life remains what? Unknown. Debate over. Why would you even take this debate? Because you are fucking religious when it comes to these scientific beliefs. You're religious. You're doctrinaire. This is an axiom that can't be broken. That's why I kept saying you look like the the person that's dogmatic in the debate, overly religious about your belief and how this works. And oh yeah, scientists do know. No, they don't. The answer to the origin of life remains unknown. It still remains unknown. It's still a mystery. We still don't know. That's why you got to presume, and these presuppositions come in. Oh, well, RNA did it. Well, okay, where did the fucking RNA came from? It came from outer space. You still ain't answered the question. Where did the RNA come from? How did it arise? Where's the origin of the RNA? Explain that. Just saying it came on a meteorite does not explain how the RNA came about. You still haven't done that. We still don't know. We're still fucking clueless. But here are the scientists' best bets. Why we got to make bets on anything if we're not clueless on it? We're shooting in the dark, man. I'll give you guys this article too. There it is here. Here it is here, y'all. Wow, science. Boom. No thanks. So let's go down. Let's read some of these inferences, right? That's all we can do. So we don't have crystal balls. We don't have time machines. You guys give scientists this magical power, and it's magic because we can't explain it. It's inexplicable to be able to know every damn thing as if they're omniscient. The origin of life on Earth began more than 3 billion years ago, evolving from the most basic of microbes into a dazzling array of complexity over time. But how did the first organisms on the only known home to life in the universe develop from the primordial soup? Again, that's still being taught. You lied and said it wasn't. Science remains undecided. Science remains undecided. We're clueless, just like he said. We're fucking clueless on the origin of life. You lost that fucking debate, man. And conflicted as to the exact origin of life, also known as abiogenesis. Even the very definition of life is contested and rewritten, with one study published in the Journal of Biomolecular Structure and Dynamics suggesting uncovering 123 different published definitions. Although science still seems unsure. What's another word for unsure? Clueless. Here are some of the many different scientific theories on the origin of life on Earth. And see, this is what they do. Oh, since there's theories and there's suggestions on how it may have happened, then that means we're not. No, you're fucking clueless. We still don't fucking know. Lightning during a summer storm. Oh, I'm reading a damn image right there. That's a nice image. That might be my next background, man. I might have to take that one. I might have to go ahead and snatch that one real quick, Nerdy Brew. It says right here, lightning may have provided the spark needed for life to begin. Again, this was something they used in Miller Urey, and even before him, it was proposed that lightning may have had something to do with it, and we're still suggesting that, right? Electric sparks can generate amino acids and sugars from an atmosphere loaded with water, methane, ammonia, and hydrogen, as was shown in the famous Miller Urey experiment in 1952, according to Scientific American. The experiment's findings suggested that lightning might have helped create the key building blocks of life on Earth in its early days. Over millions of years, larger and more complex molecules could form. Again, this is another suggestion. But as we read earlier, with this article in Live Science is being honest, so I tell people just read the damn articles for yourself. Don't listen to the preaching, because, these dudes are good at preaching. They're good at proclaiming a lot of stuff. Science remains undecided and conflicted to the exact origin of life, also known as abiogenesis. And as in the tagline here, it says the answer to the origin of life remains unknown. It's done, bro. It's done. You didn't have to go into no deep chemical conversation with this guy. This is, we can just give this to the people in plain fucking English and it's over with. But like I said, Dr. James really tore your head off, tore some ligaments, man, and left you leaking with his approach. So I mean, he got the mission done. Anyway, right here. Although research since then has revealed the early atmosphere of Earth was actually hydrogen poor, scientists have suggested that volcanic clouds in the early atmosphere might have held methane, ammonia, and hydrogen, and being filled with lightning as well, according to the University of California. Again, might have. These are just suggestions. This is not telling you that we know for a fact that this happened, meaning we're still clueless. We're still fucking clueless. Molecules of life met on clay. This is why he brought up the clay thing during this debate. The first molecules of life might have met on clay. The word might, because we don't know. This is just something we're suggesting here. According to the idea elaborated by organic chemist Alexander Graham Carn Smith at the University of Glasgow in Scotland. Carn Smith proposed in his 1985 controversial book, Seven Clues to the Origin of Life, that clay crystals preserve their structure as they grow and stick together to form areas exposed to different environments and trap other molecules along the way and organize them into patterns, much like our genes do now. The main role of DNA is to store information on how other molecules should be arranged. Genetic sequences in DNA are essentially instructions on how amino acids should be arranged in proteins. Corn Smith suggests that mineral crystals in clay could have arranged organic molecules into organized patterns. After a while, organic molecules took over this job and organized themselves. Although Kern Smith's theory certainly gave scientists food for thought in the 1980s, it has still not been widely accepted by the scientific community. Again, the most widely accepted one is the hydrothermal vent, which we're about to read here, the RNA world. The deep sea vent theory suggests that life may have begun as submarine hydrothermal vents. That's why I brought up in the debate. It was like scientists don't really go with that clay model any goddamn way. It's all about starting in water. Like that's the biggest one, life starting in water. The deep sea vent theory suggests that life may have begun as submarine hydrothermal vents spewing elements key to life, such as carbon and hydrogen, according to the journal Nature Reviews Microbiology. Hydrothermal vents can be found in the depths of the ocean floors, typically on divergent continental plates, according to the Natural History Museum. These vents erupt fluid which is superheated by the Earth's core as it passes through the Earth's crust before being ejected at the vents. During its journey through the crust, it collects dissolved gases and minerals such as carbon and hydrogen. The rocky nooks could have concentrated these molecules together and provided mineral catalysts for critical reactions. Even now, these vents, rich in chemical and thermal energy, sustain vibrant ecosystems. Abiogenesis by the way of hydrothermal vents continues to be investigated as a plausible cause of life on Earth. In 2019, scientists at University College London successfully created protocells, non-living structures that help scientists understand the origins of life under similar hot alkaline environmental conditions to hydrothermal vents. Ice might have covered the oceans. Life had a chilly start. Here's another theory. So we had the hydrothermal vent theory, which becomes a problem because, as Dr. James Tour says, 15 of the amino acids that you need for life will not have happened in an aqueous solution, meaning in water, which is one of his biggest arguments. So how do you explain that? Anyway, life had a chilly start. Ice might have covered the oceans 3 billion years ago and facilitated the birth of life. Key organic compounds thought to be important in the origin of life are more stable at lower temperatures. Jeffrey Bada at the University of California told New Scientist. And this is what they meant about conflicting, because some of these theories, like the hydrothermal vent, stuff like that, requires hot temperatures. And remember, he brought up one paper during the debate that required like 450 Fahrenheit. Where the hell do you get that temperature from on Earth? And then making it go all the way to negative 78 degrees. Where do you get that temperature on the early Earth? Let alone on Earth now. Like that's so implausible. Like you need a miracle. You guys believe. I believe in miracles. That's you niggas, man. You have to believe in a lot of miracles for some of this shit to happen. No, all of this shit to happen. It's all a miracle. Y'all believe in miracles, bro. It's just that simple. And there's not wrong with that, but damn, like we're gonna have to characterize and call it what we call it, bro. Call a spade a spade. Anyway, at normal temperatures, these compounds, such as simple sets of amino acids, are sparsely populated in water. but when frozen, become concentrated and facilitate the emergence of life, according to Botta's work published in the journal Icarus. And this is what James Tour was trying to tell him. Like in aqueous solutions, it's hard to get these amino acids. It's impossible, really, to get these amino acids. That's why they were having that peptide argument. Peptides can form in water. No, 15 amino acids can't. That's why he was having that side chain argument with him, which is detrimental because that's what you need for life, man. Every part is important. Like, how the hell you can't just skip the parts that you know that is implausible and say, "Oh, we still get life." No, you won't. You need all those things to work together, integrate. It's called integrated complexity. They have to integrate together and work together for life to start. It says ice also might have protected fragile organic compounds in the water below from ultraviolet light and destruction from cosmic impacts. The cold might have also helped these molecules to survive longer, enabling key reactions to happen. That's another theory. The answer lies in understanding DNA formation. Nowadays, DNA needs proteins in order to form. Proteins require DNA to form. So again, you know that's the chicken and egg problem. What came first? So how could these have formed without each other? The answer may be RNA, which can store information like DNA, serve as an enzyme like proteins, and help create both DNA and proteins, according to the journal Molecular Biology of the Cell. Later, DNA and proteins succeeded this RNA world because they are more efficient. RNA still exists and performs several functions in organisms, including acting as an on and off switch for some genes. The question still remains how RNA got here in the first place. This is why we're clueless. The question still remains, bro. The question still remains how RNA got here in the first place. Some scientists think the molecule could have spontaneously arisen on Earth, while others say that it was very unlikely to happen. And that's why we're still back at square one of being clueless on this whole thing. You know, you just assume this stuff happened, but we still don't know how it happened. We don't know the origin. We still did not answer the origin of life. You guys just assume life was here and boom, that's it. You assume you had everything you need to create life. Boom, that's it. Boom, 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 boom. No explaining, no further explanation according to you guys. Nothing to see here. Which means we're clueless on the origin of life. It says instead of developing from complex molecules such as RNA, life might have begun with smaller molecules interacting with each other in cycles of reactions. These might have been contained in simple capsules akin to cell membranes. And over time, more complex molecules that perform these reactions better than the smaller ones could have evolved. Scenarios dubbed metabolism first models as opposed to gene first models of the RNA world hypothesis. Life was brought here from elsewhere in space. And y'all, you know what this does. This kicks the can further down the road. Doesn't solve anything. It just makes the mystery even more deeper mystery, right? Life was brought here from elsewhere in space. We know about panspermia, right? It says perhaps could life have been delivered to Earth from space? Perhaps life did not begin on Earth at all, but was brought here from elsewhere in space, a notion known as panspermia, according to NASA. For instance, rocks regularly get blasted off Mars by cosmic impacts, and a number of Martian meteorites have been found on Earth that some researchers have controversially suggested brought microbes over here, potentially making us all Martians originally. Other scientists have even suggested that life might have hitchhiked on comets from other star systems. However, even if this concept were true, the question of how life began on Earth would then only change to how life began elsewhere in space. We're still clueless. We still have no goddamn idea how any of this shit works. And that's the article, man. That's the article, bro. That's the motherfucking deal, man. Let me get y'all some more, though. I'm not done cooking. Hibachi, bro. Hibachi and Osaka steaks from now on, bro. So what we want to do is open this here. Here's another book here. And I'm not going to read the whole chapter. I just want to get one key segment here. Shout out to Google Books allowing you to preview books, saving me some money. Got to spend so much money on my library. And right now I'm focusing on my business. So most of my SS cash is going towards developing my business. You know what I'm saying? But, the gracious Google gods allowed me to get this right here. I just need this one segment here. This is The Origin and Early Evolution of Life, Prebiotic Chemistry of Biomolecules by Michelle Fiore. And it says here, the origin of life on Earth remains one of the deepest mysteries. What's another way to phrase this? It's a damn, we're clueless. If it's a mystery, we're clueless. Right? The origin of life on early Earth remains one of the deepest mysteries in modern science. Recent evidence suggests that life may have emerged about 4 billion years ago through the spontaneous interaction of biomolecules in steaming hydrothermal environments, but the actual pathways of biogenesis are still shrouded in mystery. We're clueless. We're fucking clueless. Just like James Tour said, man. Just like he said, bro. Are you going to say, the reason why Michelle Fiore put this in her paper is because she's a Christian? Is that going to be the argument? Let me type in Michelle Fiore. Let's type in Michelle Fiore, man. You guys are idiots, bro. You guys are fanatics. Michelle Fiore. I hope I'm not butchering this lady's name. I hope I'm not butchering this lady's name. I'm trying to find her. Let's see where she's at. I don't want no politician. There's a politician with the same name. Or is that her? I don't know, man. Somebody in the chat find her for me. Michelle Fiore. Okay, researcher, biology. Okay, I got it right here. I'm trying to find her, man. There's another one that's popping up that she's a politician. Let's see what she is. Oh, this is a man. I think it's Michelle. Michelle. I don't know how to say his name, man. Y'all forgive me, bro. Y'all forgive me. But this is him here. I found him. Is that Miguel? Maybe that's Miguel Fiore. Sorry. I thought it was you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Italian National Research Council, Institute of Biophysics, Bachelor of Applied Science. That's who wrote this book here. Institute of Biophysics. You're gonna try to demarcate this person because he told the truth in his damn book. Yeah, I love that demarcation, man. Yeah, I love to demarcate people, bro. Again, the origin of the life on early Earth, remains one of the deepest mysteries in modern science. Recent evidence suggests that life may have emerged about 4 billion years ago through the spontaneous interaction of biomolecules in steaming hydrothermal environments, but the actual pathways of biogenesis are still shrouded in mystery. We're still fucking clueless. We're not done. We're not done, y'all. We're not done. Let me see. Should we go to the University of Chicago next? Let me see. At this point, I got 1,000 tabs up. Are we clueless? Yes, indeed. So let's go to the University of College. University of College. University of Chicago News. Again, this is better to read, bro. Don't shoot the breeze about it when you can read about it. You know what I'm saying? My degree is rounded to the peasy head brick houses. What you know about that? What y'all know about that? My actions are one with the seasons. The origin of life on Earth stands as one of the great mysteries of science. Maybe y'all don't know what mysteries mean. Maybe I don't know what mysteries mean. Maybe it's me. Because y'all pretend, like what do you say? Y'all pretend like y'all don't see this. There's all this research. Mystery definition. What is mystery? This is what mystery means. That's why I like going.
Mystery.
Mystery. Something that is difficult or impossible to understand or explain. Something that is difficult or impossible to understand or explain. That's what James Tour was telling you. We're clueless on this subject. It's a mystery. Stop it, man. Stop. You guys are religious fanatics. Oh, let me share. I forgot to share the source here. All right, boom. I'm gonna work on getting another computer, man, because I'm tired of this one. Let me down. D lives. So those are two papers that I just brought up. We're not gonna be too long, man. Like I said, this is plain English here. That's why I like going to articles like this. The origin of life on Earth explained. University of Chicago News. It says the origin of life on Earth stands as one of the great mysteries of science. Various answers have been proposed, all of which remain unverified. I'm gonna read that again. The origin of life on Earth stands as one of the great mysteries of science. Various answers have been proposed, all of which remain unverified. Therefore, we're fucking clueless. I don't need to get a degree in chemistry. I don't need to, be under the auspice or the tutelage of the origin of life research groups. I don't have to do none of that to understand this, that we are clueless about this. We can only make suggestions and inferences and try to explain it that way. We don't have time machines and crystal balls. Scientists are not omniscient. All right, let me get you another one, man. Let me get you another one. Let's go here. Let's go to the Vox. Let's go to the Vox. I mean, I've pretty much proved my point. Like, there's no real. The videos should be over here. I don't even know if I need to go to the Vox. Really? Explaining with water. Like, we don't know how did life start. Da, da, da. You got a lot of gaps, man. I got a lot of gaps in our understanding, and it's hard for people to just say, you know what, we don't know, we haven't solved that. Because your idea of a scientist is someone that's omniscient, that knows all, knows everything, right? Anyway, let me see. All right, yeah, let's go here. So this is from Vox.com, and they did a series on this, a podcast about this. 3 unexplainable mysteries of life on Earth. The first one is water. So I'm gonna skip that one and go straight to how life evolved in that water, because we still don't know how water got on Earth, but that's another mystery that we're clueless about. How did life start in water? Unexplainable mystery. Even single-cell organisms can be incredibly intricate. So how did the first one form? Once there was water, somehow there was life. It's possible that life didn't start on Earth at all, but scientists have good reason to suspect it did. For decades, scientists have been trying to recreate in labs the conditions of the early water-filled Earth. The thinking is perhaps if they can mimic the conditions of the early Earth, they will eventually be able to create something similar to the first simple cells that formed here billions of years ago. From there, they could piece together a story about how life started on Earth. This line of research has demonstrated some stunning successes. In the 1950s, scientists Harold Urey and Stanley Miller showed that it's possible to synthesize the amino acid glycine, i.e. one of the life's most basic building blocks, by mixing together some gases believed to have filled the atmosphere billions of years ago with heat and simulated lightning. Since then, scientists have been able to make lipid blobs that look a lot like cell membranes, and they've gotten RNA molecules to form, which are like simplified DNA. But getting all these components of life to form in a lab and assemble into a simple cell, that hasn't happened. That hasn't happened. We haven't done that. We haven't achieved that. So what's standing in the way, and what would it mean if scientists actually succeed and create life in a bottle? They can uncover not just the story of the origin of life on Earth, but come to a shocking conclusion about how common life must be in the universe. So again, this never happened. We don't know. We're still fucking clueless. We're still clueless, and I'll give you this. That's why they're calling it unexplainable. We still don't know how life came about. We still don't know the origin of life. Unless you want to be a damn doctrinaire and a religious zealot about this shit. All you gotta do is admit this. Like, no, we can't solve every fucking mystery. We can't solve every mystery, man. Again, I was gonna bring up Berkeley where it says from soup to sales, because he claimed that it's not taught in the collegiate level, and obviously it is. I have to bring this up here. From soup to sales, that's still a concept. When did life, how did life originate? And it's very interesting what Berkeley decides to call this. They call it a knotty problem. All the evidence gathered thus far has revealed a great deal about the origin of life, but there is still much to learn because of the enormous length of time and tremendous change that has occurred since then. Much of the evidence relevant to origins has been lost, and we may never know certain details. We're clueless. Nevertheless, many of the gaps in our knowledge, gaps that seemed unbridgeable just 20 years ago, have been filled in recent years, and continued research and new technologies hold the promise of more insights. We're still clueless. As Ellington puts it, origins is a huge knotty problem, but doesn't mean it's an insoluble one, right? So basically they're saying in time we'll finally figure it out, but we don't now. That's the point. We're still fucking clueless. And what is a knotty problem? I had to look this up myself. What is a knotty problem? Knotty problem. This is what knotty problems mean. Knotty problem is a problem. A knotty problem is complicated and difficult to solve. That's what a knotty problem is. It's complicated and difficult to solve. We're clueless, man. We're fucking clueless. We don't know how this happened. We don't know how these things arose. And that's the motherfucking deal. All right? Another hibachi meal cooked, man. Hey, man, rest in peace to Professor Dave, man. R.I.P., nigga. Rest in piss, nigga. Dr. James Todd called a body. Somebody called a homicide unit. We out, man.
First off, bitch, my life is Baghdad. Wolfing on the net, then he got stripper with his strap bag. 150 in a trash bag, time to shake him up. We tip the strippers, we strip the strippers. It's the mob, bitch, we killers. Beat it up, yeah, Thriller, Manila. Minx and bling, don't leave out the chinchillas. Double R, Rolls Royce down, you niggas know the deal with me. I'm a boss, never get robbed, niggas could only steal from me. But that's some 12-year-olds come out and drill for me. Think about it, do you want these problems literally? The Grim Reaper out and he don't show no sympathy. John Gotti car, mops in the yard, shoot for me. Nigga, I'm the Don in my city. Who is you and yours? Grab the beef packet and make top Roman noodles with it. If you ain't tryna get no money, who you do it for? John Gotti car, mops in the yard, shoot for me. Nigga, I'm the Don in my city. Who is you and yours? Grab the beef packet and make top Roman noodles with it. If you ain't tryna get no money, who you do it for? See a out in traffic, hit him up. Nigga, Tupac, the crime report and ballistics say he died from 2 blocks. I know he ran his mouth, but did you have to knock his shoes off? 40 with a dick, let it squeeze, it got blue balls. Heavy trippy red if he playing with my blue 166 shots, another 6 at Jimmy Neutron. I'm on demon time, don't you ever get too big headed. Beef on a plate, shrimp, lobster, steak, eat with me. Instead you worry about always trying to compete with me. Swimming with the fishes like he trying to find Nemo. A shark in the water, a great right, he's seafood.
dumbass spent his whole life tryna be Debo. 100 shells drop, cock back, mops and reload. That Black Lives Matter shit is so 2003, bro. John Gotti car, mops in the yard, shoot for me, nigga. I'm the Don in my city. Who is you and yours? Grab the beef packet and make top Roman noodles with it. If you ain't tryna get no money, who you do it for? John Gotti car, mops in the yard, shoot for me, nigga. I'm the Don in my city. Who is you and yours? Grab the beef packet and make top Roman noodles with it. If you ain't tryna get no money, who you do it for? Nigga. John Gotti car, mops in the yard, shoot for me, nigga, I'm the Don of my city. Who is you and yours? Shit. Grab the beef packet and make top Roman noodles with it. Shit. John Gotti car, mops in the yard, shoot for me. If you ain't tryna get no money, who you do it for?